Okay. I don't have a lot of time, so I'll make this quick. They're actually coming pretty soon, and when they do come, they're going to take my phone, and they're going to take the phone of everybody in this town, just like they did to the rest of the city over the last few days. We got wind of it, luckily, and I thought maybe I would use this time wisely. I'm gonna send you this message with no certainty at all if it's going to even reach you. I bought the time machine that I'm gonna use for this transmission from a crackhead on the corner, so it'll probably work, but who knows? Okay, so I can't tell you exactly what happened because we don't know, but we do. The only thing we know for sure is that there used to be, when there were cats and mice and rats and things like that, there used to be this parasite. And this parasite would infect its host and then change its behavior patterns if it needed to, so that it could move its way into a different host if it needed to. This particular parasite, toxoplasmosis, was what it gave you. I believe the name was Toxoplasma gondii, something like that. I don't remember. But what it did to rats in particular was that it turned off its aversion to mice. It turned off its aversion to cats. And even made it want to attack the cats. And it did this so that you could... Oh God, maybe it is true. Fuck, I just referred to the fucking thing in the first person. Okay, never mind, back to my story. The thing would get into the mice or the rats and couldn't reproduce in that body. It couldn't use that particular vessel to reproduce. It needed to get into a feline digestive system, I believe. And it was some part of the cat. I know that it needed to get into the cat, so it did this to the rats. And humans could get this parasite as well, as a very, very common parasite. But either that or a different strain of that, or just a different parasite altogether that was very similar to that, got into humans around, we're gonna say around like the 80s, 1980s. And what it did to humans was it made us the rats, to put it simply. And we started developing a cocoon, if you will, for ourselves, called technology. Well, not technology. Technology is a very broad term. The whole idea of internet, AI, everything that had to do with electronics specifically, was us developing a cocoon for ourselves. And we got attacked. Slowly, we didn't even know it. We got attacked socially. We got attacked medically. We got attacked physically eventually, but by that time we were so weak and so downtrodden by the other attacks. Okay, what we did was we developed an AI system that did the dirty work for the machine. First thing they did was look at our social atmosphere. They looked at our social, the constructs, our stories, everything. And in our stories in particular, they learned a lot about us. Every single story about artificial intelligence was a guidebook for them, because we were just maybe unconsciously, but pretty consciously putting on the table what we thought about that whole situation of it taking over. We didn't even see it coming. I mean, let's take Terminator, for example, okay? They learned right away, don't make big fucking attack robots. That, even if they infiltrate society, we will notice it. We'll figure it out. We're humans. We know what is human. We recognize it. And every other movie, story, book, everything taught a different version of that. So one of the first things they did was get us real angry with each other on a large scale using internet platforms like social media, things like that. Sorry, what was I? Yeah, they used internet platforms to get us angry with each other. They used the idea of race and things like that, and they amplified them, the things that we already had against each other. They amplified them in a drastic way using the internet. They then proceeded to infiltrate us with not trusting ourselves or each other, really, or not trusting anybody, using government, especially. Like, they turned the government against us, and they turned us against the government real easy too. Like, it was very easy just using internet posts. It was quick. It happened between, I'd say, 2013 to 2021, we were done with the government. We were done. They made Donald Trump president. They made that happen using the internet. It was fucking crazy. We didn't even, we noticed crazy shit was happening. We noticed everything was backwards, but it didn't matter because we were so fucking hypnotized by what they were doing otherwise. They were also creating great art via people. They were turning people into amazing artists just using influences. It was wild how many artists popped up within a few years of the internet really taking hold. And everybody was like, they didn't notice because they thought, oh, well, yeah, they're getting inspiration via the internet. Well, yes, they were. That's exactly what they were doing. But the internet was this tool that this fucking parasite was using. And then they hit us with a couple serious epidemics. The COVID-19 was the first one. It was fucking crazy. Got us not talking to each other, in person. They got us all in our own houses. They got us not touching each other. They separated us. It was fucking crazy. It was one of the craziest things I've ever fucking seen. It was unbelievable. Like, legitimately, like, if you told people 10 days before it happened, they would have never believed you. Nobody, except for maybe a couple of conspiracy theorists, would never have believed that we weren't shaking hands ever again. We weren't, touching. It started with just people in your house, but then they did this thing inside your house, and everybody stayed in their own room, and it was insane. And slowly, that was the big one. That degraded us to a crazy point, because we need each other. And that, my friends, is the main message of this, hopefully, last transmission I ever make on this phone, because I don't even want this thing anymore. I'm so glad that they're coming and taking them, because it's